Roxanne, and I'm back today to share my latest pattern review of the dress I'm wearing. This dress is McCalls Pattern 8139, and it's part of their 2020 fall lineup. It has a classic style, it has 2 different sleeve options, 2 different skirt options, and a variety of different patch pockets. If you haven't checked out McCalls for a while, they've really revamped their line and their look. And this dress is called the Marcy McCalls Pattern. So I'm going to share all the details of how I made this dress and the changes I made and the special additions that I added that I gave some sneak peeks on Instagram. And I'm also going to share all the details about my first ever giveaway. So stay tuned. The first thing I wanted to talk about is which fabrications is recommended for this dress pattern. It's recommended faux leather, denim, baby cord, or cotton blends. This is a cotton blend sateen that has a little bit of stretch in it, and it was the perfect choice for this styling of dress. The style on the top has a bust dart to give shaping as well as a waistline dart, and it has a seam at the waistline, which I covered with a nice belt. I chose to do quite a bit of top stitching on the collar, down the front placket, on the sleeves, on the yoke, and on the pockets. I didn't choose to add any of the patch pockets because I didn't want to interrupt my bold print. I also cut the skirt in one piece in the back instead of a center back seam because I didn't want to interrupt my print or have to match my print there. And since there was no shaping in that seam, it was very easy for me to just cut it on the fold. I cut a standard size 12, and I did add a little extra to the waistline to make it a little bit more comfortable. I chose to make self-covered buttons, and I was very particular by only choosing the green portions of my print to cover my buttons. And I added a small shoulder pad just to balance me out and give me a little bit of classic structure. This would be the perfect pattern to make in a denim and to add all the different pocket options. There are breast pocket options, back pocket options, and then there's also a longer length, and it would look very cute in a denim, maybe one of the denim stripes that I have back here. It would be very cute and very, very casual. I wanted to share with you a couple of additions that I made to this dress that weren't included in the pattern. I chose to add a skirt lining to my dress. And I like to add a skirt lining to my dresses or my skirts. I just like the way it feels, and it feels a little bit more expensive and comfortable. So I chose to add a skirt lining. This was very simple. All I did was use the skirt pattern, and I omitted the hem, and I cut where it would omit the part of my placket that was folded in. So it was very easy. And then I folded right sides together and sewed my waistline seam so everything was enclosed inside the dress, within the seam as well as in the placket. I also chose to do a hand hem because I wanted a little bit more of an upscale feel, and sometimes I feel like top stitching can make a dress look a little bit more casual. And I wanted my dress to look a little bit more dressy. Maybe something I could wear to the office or wear to an event, or something that it felt more dressy. So I also wanted to share with you that I consider this an intermediate pattern. I don't think it's a difficult pattern to sew, but there is a tremendous amount of top stitching involved on the sleeves, on the placket, on the collar, on the pockets, and they're very generous pockets. I must tell you, these are not little skimpy pockets. McCalls put a great size pocket in this dress. All of the other patch pockets are sort of small, and I would consider them more for decoration. But another reason why I consider this to be an intermediate sew is because it has a lot of top stitching detail. And when you top stitch, you really want your top stitching to look perfect because it is front and center, And there's nothing that can make a garment look more homemade than crocked top stitching. If your skill level is more of a beginner level, I still would encourage you to try it, but use the proper foot for an edge stitching foot, or possibly use a magnetic seam guide so that you get all your top stitching really, really perfectly straight and parallel. I chose to do 2 separate lines of stitching, and when I moved my needle over to get my second line of stitching in. So that's how I did this. And at some point I probably will be sharing a video on how I top stitch. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But stay tuned. So another thing was I put chain stitched anchors to hold the bottom of my lining to my hemline at the side seams. And that's sort of a semi-couture detail that I like to add, because I don't ever want my lining of my skirt to slide around. I like it to feel anchored. I also made hand chain stitch belt loops on the sides to hold my belt in place. And you probably can't even see them because I made them to match my belt. So it's just another little detail that I added, that I like to add special little details to each one of my sews. It's not something that's necessary, it's just something that I like to do when I make my garments. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern review and you'll consider making the Marcy McCalls dress for yourself. Now on to the details about my first ever giveaway. I'm giving away 2 Marcy McCalls patterns so that you can sew your own look. I'm giving one pattern away in the size range F5, which is 16 to 24, and one in the size range A5 from 6 to 14. Now, in order to get in on this giveaway, you need to head over to my Instagram, and you need to follow me on Instagram. You need to like my post, and then I need you to comment on which size you'd like to have. Now, if you also tag a friend, you'll get an additional entry for this giveaway. The more friends you tag, the more entries you'll get. So I hope you'll head on over to my Instagram and you'll follow me, and all of that information will be down in the description box. So good luck. I can't wait to see who wins and what you make. So as always, have a happy creative day. Bye now.